Welcome to the future.
Voice is clown.
Not clown. Joker.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark.
Good idea.
United, the Avengers are strong.
Hawkeye, hands off.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power?
Not this time, Magneto.
My mutant brain senses danger.
Something unseen is slowly spreading its poison, edging tempers.
Think carefully before you do this.
You filthy criminals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Whoo! Well, let me adjust. Let me adjust you really quick. Don't stay right there. Don't move.
Why are you cutting my head off, dude?
Oh, there you go. Welcome to episode
169.
55.
Damn it.
And how fitting that it is episode 155, and we have 955 subscribers currently as recording this video, or as streaming this video. And we're giving away a slab because we hit 955 subscribers. What up, Patty? What up, Jaden? What up, Echo? Nice to see you. Welcome, one and all. What up, Calvin? What up, John? Man, a whole crew's here. Because they know why. They know why they're here. Because we're giving away a slab tonight. Also, they're here because they just like to listen to us talk. But they're also here because they want free shit. And that's awesome because that's what we want. We want to give away free shit. So, let's get to the real, why y'all are here. And then we'll talk about comics. And then you'll stay around. And then you'll win a comic. What up, Weird? So, we hit 950 subscribers. So, we're giving away a slab tonight. And we're giving away... Oh! This bad boy. The CBCS 9.8 King in Black number 5 spoiler variant Ryan Stegman cover. So we're giving away a 950. So in order, you're subbed, great. The next thing you got to do, and most of you have already done it, is just say something in chat so I can put your name on a wheel. And once you're on that wheel, we'll spin it at the end of the night, and someone's gonna win this thing. Now, I'm gonna wait. Well, I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna say another thing, and then hopefully Nate will be back by the time I say this next thing. Yeah. So that's the last time. Basically, tonight is the last time you're gonna see this slab that we've been talking about on our shows. So I got to make a new promo. Maybe we'll see. Mm-hmm. Talking about what we're giving away next. What we're giving away next, and we're getting close, guys. We only are 45 subscribers away from hitting 1,000 subs. Okay. We've got a month to get this thing done. I don't know why you didn't, Joe. That's unfortunate. But you're here now. When we hit 1,000 subs, guys, we're giving away this amazing Spider-Man number 4 original Sin tie-in CBCS graded 9.8 first appearance of. Go ahead and say it, Nate.
No, I'm not even gonna say it.
Silk. That's right. It's the first appearance of Silk. We're giving this away at 950 at 1,000 subs, and we're only 45 away. So if you're not already, make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and give us a like, and hopefully ring that bell and make sure it works, because apparently it's not working for Joe, and that's not good, because Joe's he's basically a mod right next to Jaden. And you know what? I think we need to mod Joe. Can you do that? I think Nate's doing that.
Done.
Cool. So now we have 2 mods. We've got Jaden and we've got Joe, because the channel is just getting bigger, right? So we need more mods in case of we get a random Russian bot talking about taking selfies in the snow. So that's awesome. But anyway, I'm gonna throw down a challenge here, and Nate is gonna get very, very, very upset with me with this, and he's gonna tell me don't do it. But I want to see if it happens, right? Our shows are what? It's about an hour and a half, maybe almost 2 hours long, give or take. Here's my challenge. We're giving away a slab tonight, right? We're giving away a 950 slab. We're giving away a King in Black number 5. Right? And then if we hit 1,000, we're going to give away a slab. But if we hit 1,000 tonight.
What?
If we hit 1,000 subscribers by tonight.
You do silly things.
I do silly things. not only will we give away the slab that I just talked about, which is the original Sentai and Amazing Spider-Man #4, first appearance of Silk 9.8, CBCS grade. I'm going to throw in. Get ready, guys. If we hit 1,000 subs by the end of this, before this show ends,
I'm gonna punch you in the face.
we're gonna give away
No, you're not. You're
this
absolutely not.
CGC
Yeah.
graded 9.8 Wind #1 Boom Studios, signed
Mm-mm.
by the great Tiny Onion himself.
Yeah, I'll make sure to ship that one. Don't you worry. I'll ship it nice.
I will give this away if we hit 1,000 subs tonight by the end of the show. Chat, is the challenge accepted? Do we accept, or should I just put this away?
Well, I mean, they're gonna accept, of course, but it's not.
But can they do it? Can they get us 45 real people, not some fake accounts? Give this thing away if we hit 1,000 subs tonight. Not only will we'll be giving away 3 slabs basically. I will give this away. I guarantee it. I promise. So, can we hit 1,000 subs tonight? We're giving 1 away at least, but can we give away 3? We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, that's it. So let me, Nate, why don't you talk about collected comics and games? Can you talk about like collected comics and games while I type in people's names? You can do it.
Sure.
You know the spiel.
Man, you literally say it every week, and it just goes. I mean,
Okay, well,
all right,
give it
so
a.
our local LCS, well, I guess that's repetitive. Our LCS, our local shop, is a collected comics and games. They have 3 locations in the Metroplex. The one that we hit often is the one in Fort Worth, off of Altamere. They also have an awesome store in Heller, Irving. They have a website that you can go to, staycollected.com, where they've got all kinds of cool variants that you can get. Are we still doing the variant upgrade, or did that stop with?
I believe it's still going on. I just don't know where it is on the website, so I can't like give you a direct where to go.
Well, we'll have more on that once the website gets changed, because I looked there the other day and I didn't see it. Anyway, they really help us out a lot. Really like them. So if you're looking for a shop, whether you're looking for single issues, collected editions, toys, pops, tabletop role-playing games, anything like that, I can't tell you how many times we've walked past the TTRPG stuff and like,
yeah,
you're like, man, kind of want to get into this. So, and I believe they are still doing their. Oh yeah. So one of the fun things that they do, I don't think we've ever talked about this on the show, but I really like it because I have a kiddo that's about to be in school. They have like a comics honor roll system. So if you have a kiddo in your local, bring them by and show them like a report card. If they're getting A's and B's, they'll get free comic books. It's one of my favorite little things that they do, because it's free comics for kids is going to make them super excited, and encouraging kids to be good in school. It's kind of a no-brainer.
All right. Let's double check. I think I've got everybody that is currently in chat on the wheel. So we are good to go there. So again, I will probably say it throughout the show periodically. Just saying like, hey, make sure to say something in the chat in order to enter. So, don't get annoyed, please, when I start talking about that. I just want to make sure everybody hears it when we get new people, if there are new people watching. New people. All right. Let's talk about this week's comics. If I take She-Hulk out, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I am in the belief for me, now I'm not talking about you, that DC had a better week. In my for my stack. Because I didn't read some of the books you had.
I only had 2 Marvels this week, so that's an easy or 3. That's an easy statement I can.
Yeah, I had more, but it just was kind of a bland week for Marvel outside of She-Hulk. Because I'm gonna say She-Hulk was the best, even if it was poop. I would be saying it was the best because I just love the comics, so it doesn't matter.
See, you're gonna get an unbiased opinion from me because I don't homer for anyone.
Well, that's not true.
When we get to the pick. You'll see when we get to the pick.
I understand that, but for sometimes
I was homering this week.
You home sometimes.
Never.
Sometimes you do. No, you do.
Not even one time.
I think you do. I digress. Anyway, let's get the show started. Everybody, welcome. Remember to sub. and comment. Here we go.
Oh, Scott, that's awesome.
All right, here we go. So first up, we have Captain Marvel #2 from Alyssa Wong, Bond by the Nega Bands. I don't, huh? Mid. I agree. It's mid. It's mid at best, and I don't like saying that because I think Alyssa Wong is an incredibly strong writer. Her stories are amazing. Her Deadpool run was fucking awesome. I know that you were reading her over on Dr. Aphra.
Very good.
But this just does not. I mean, the thought of Stephanie Phillips's, right? It was Stephanie Phillips previous, right?
On Captain Marvel, Kelly Thompson.
Kelly Thompson, that's what I meant. Kelly Thompson's run right now is seeping into this run in the sense of like, man, I kind of want to go back to that. Like, I kind of missed that run. And I just think the Nega Band thing just doesn't do it for me. I'm not really interested in it. I'm interested in Carol. I am actually interested in the bad guy, like the new bad, like she's pretty OP, pretty cool. Like to see Carol on the ropes, right? And having to kind of adapt to this new enemy and not just blasting her way through it. I think that is cool. But the idea of the Nega Bands, just, it may not be this, right? But it just feels so, I said this last time this book was on, but it just feels so corporate driven. It just feels like, hey, we've got this concept that's in the movie, let's put it in the comic, and if it's your first arc, great. But it just didn't feel, I don't know, I don't know. It mid. You said it right. It just feels kind of mid right now.
Kaylin, appreciate it. Thanks for joining us.
Well, Kaylin?
Yeah, so the big thing for me too is like, or I guess the two big things for me is, and this is my complaint about a lot of books this week, so whatever, but almost zero plot progression here. We've got 2 pages of inside of our character that Captain Marvel is bonded with. 2 pages. And besides that, we went from where we were at the last book, which is fighting, to Sanctum Sanctorum. We went fighting Sanctum. We could have done that in 4 pages. The fighting was kind of cool. It was all right. Art's nice.
Yeah.
But we didn't need to just have a book of fighting. And the other thing too is, how do you make what is traditionally what would seem to me to be appealers for long-term fans of Captain Marvel, whether it be Carol Danvers or Janice Vell or Marvel or Monica Rambeau, take 2 things. Take the inclusion of Janice Vell in this book, which is especially interesting to me with just finishing the omnibus, and the Nega Bands, which, hate them or love them, are a huge part of Captain Marvel history.
Right.
And they did exactly what you said. They made them feel like corporate checkpoint.
Right.
Like, it almost feels like they were like holding Alyssa's hand down to the page, like, right in the Nega Bands. She's like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah.
And which could totally be wrong. Like, we obviously don't know. That could totally
No,
be
it's an
wrong,
assumption.
right?
Yep.
But I would say, based off her track record and this not quite working and the rest of her stuff working, I feel like this was an editorial name, and it's just not quite working.
I agree. You know, I'm not gonna. It's nowhere in. It is not in any reality at this point where I'm gonna drop the book. But I'm kind of ready for this arc to be over. Like, I'm ready just for it to. Let's just move on and let's see where we go next. But unfortunately, a little mid.
Yeah, I think it's funny to me that I'm more looking forward to her guest appearance in the She-Hulk book than I am this book.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be dope. Going to space. All right, next up. Excuse me, I have Immortal X-Men issue number 17 from Karen Gillan. And you know, what I told you, I don't know if it was New Comic Book Day, I don't remember when I said it, but I was worried that we were kind of going to rush to get Krakoa over. And this kind of felt like it in this book. You know, we confirm, obviously, we're in the White Hot Place. Jean isn't quite awake yet. Like, she's kind of like in this like dream state still, but she's kind of like slipping in and out of like her little mini, right? And where she's in Immortal. And you know,
is this the last issue or is there one more?
This is the penultimate.
Okay.
So it's hard to kind of explain, but essentially everyone, the group of mutants that are in the white hot place or white hot room now know that they're there. Like they've confirmed it. And so they're fighting off their versions of fears. So when we saw Apocalypse, that's what's the guy that's worshiping one of the five? Yeah. It's Exodus's projection of fear is Apocalypse, so they're fighting that. So they're all kind of like distracted, and then we see Mother Righteous essentially. She does her thing, right? She basically plays her cards in this book, and shows her hand, and they find out that she's not to be trusted. Dun, dun, dun. Like it's incredibly rushed, basically. And so we see that come to fruition in this issue. The other big thing that happens is we see, we find out that in the last issue, we found out that Sinister still has a piece of him in, Professor X, right? He still has a part of his conscious in him, but it's not from what we dealt with in, Judgment Day, right? I think it was Judgment Day. Or no, Sins of Sinister. This is something that he put, huh?
It all runs together for me now.
Right. It's something that he placed in there in a way previous event that we were never, like, it's something that I'm sure, Comic Book Herald was like, oh shit, that's a deep cut, like, and rightfully so. So they're basically trying to figure out, Professor X is trying to figure out if he can trust Sinister. Obviously he can't, but it's his only play at this point. And they're trying to, they have to leave the island in order to save mutants. They have to leave the island in order to stop Sinister's clones, which one of them is Mother Righteous. So, Professor X ends up leaving the island with this Force ghost version of Sinister to go to one of his other, I can't remember where they go. They go to a pretty significant place. I can't remember where they go. But they take off. And then we cut back to Mother Righteous killing... man, I'm just fucking up on names right now. The mutant that can see the future.
Destiny?
She kills Destiny. And one of the mutants sees it. They run to go tell the rest of the group. It's too late. So Mother Righteous is on her play, and she's using Jean as a key to either get out of the white hot place, or white hot room, or she's doing something with Jean. So it just felt incredibly rushed. Destiny, yeah, there you go. It just feels like we're speeding towards the conclusion. And if I'm being honest, it's felt like that for a while, but it's felt like we've been speeding towards a conclusion for the past 2.5 years. But now we know that the end is right around the corner. So some books I feel like are doing a good job of drawing their conclusions, and I feel like there are other books that are just get me to the end so I can get out of here. And that's kind of how Immortal felt like to me. I'm sure that that's a very low percentage of an opinion. I'm sure there's other people that just absolutely love this book. But for me, it didn't feel like an Immortal X-Men book like when the series first debuted, when we had a singular focused issue for one character at a time. This just feels like a chapter within an Omega book. Like, that's what it feels like. I'm not saying, I am looking forward to seeing how it ends, and how, where the pieces will lay and what the foundation for the next run of X-Men will be. But it's a little concerning when you get that feeling, you get that rushed feeling with Gillen, because he's been a pretty foundational writer for X-Men since Hickman left. And so it's got me a little worried. And the artwork was weird. Like, it was good, but it wasn't. Like, it was really weird. It was like realistic, but not. It was kind of funky.
Was it the normal? Who was it?
No, it wasn't the normal artist.
Yeah, Lucas Wernick was not. It was Juan Jose Rip.
Yeah. And Joe, I think you're right. What happened to this book? I feel as soon as Gillen finished his time to shine in the X office, he isn't putting out great books. it just doesn't. It feels like he's like, I want to get over. I just want to get this over with. That's how it feels. That kind of stinks. But Gary Jerry, on the other hand, he is like fully embraced the conclusion and is gonna, I feel like, give us an ending that'll be worth closing up the chapter on Krakoa. I think, So, and the thing is it's a, to put another sports analogy to it, it's him and Gillen kind of playing doubles at the moment. So hopefully Gillen can be a good partner and end the series on a good note, or on something that's gonna make us want to go, holy shit, I need to go pick up the next X books. I'm sure it won't. I'm sure. I mean, some people it doesn't matter. Nate, it doesn't matter for Nate at all. The only book, Sleda says, the only X book I follow is Alpha Flight. Interesting. Well, let me get you. Hey, Alpha, I don't know if you know. Hopefully you're subscribed. If you're not, hit that subscribe button. We are giving away a slab tonight. So you have spoken in chat, and I'm going to put your name in there. So thanks for talking.
Yeah, John, that's pretty much exactly what happened to me. Like, the gala ran around. I was like, okay, we got our gala. It always seems like it's pretty intense, and it was intense. And then I just
kind of fell, yeah.
Kind of fell. I don't know. I'll probably still be reading the Rise and Fall, but
yeah, Joe, you're right too. Yeah, it feels like the team is kind of giving up. Yeah, it does feel like that. So anyway, that's Immortal X-Men. All right, next up we have Incredible Hulk issue number 6. This was an interesting issue. I liked it a lot more than I thought it was going to. Just kind of seeing, we've got a new monster. We've got some really cool body horror in here, which I think
yeah, that was wild.
Klein was on the book, right? Yeah. The artwork I thought was great. I thought that shit was amazing. If it was artwork alone that did pick of the week, this would probably be it. And that's kind of a no-brainer. But overall, I like the issue, and I like this Ghost Rider that isn't our typical Ghost Rider. It's somebody new.
Yeah, so it's a new Ghost Rider.
New Ghost Rider, which I really like. Overall, I thought the issue was strong. It didn't really. It kind of felt like we didn't really move anywhere. I don't like you said previously to Captain Marvel. The plot didn't feel like it moved too much, outside of introducing this new Ghost Rider. But I was okay with that. I felt like it kind of set the stage for like, all right, now we're here, right? Like it, almost like a sub arc within the arc.
We went deeper but not wider with the plot. Yeah,
I agree. So overall, I liked it. And Philip Kennedy Johnson has never had an issue for me in telling or flowing of his comics having any kind of issue. So overall, I thought the issue was great. It just didn't really move really anywhere. But it was a good issue.
Yeah. See, it seems like we're all pretty much on the same page with the book because, I mean, Joe says the same. I'll give the book 8 out of 10. It would be a 10, but it read too fast, barely moved. And Joe's our resident Hulk head, so I feel like that's pretty accurate for a guy that. But like, yeah, the transformation pages.
Those are gruesome.
Are amazing. Sled, if you're not a big Hulk person, but even just the most generic stuff, this is an easy run to jump on. Because we're kind of like changing like each variant of Hulk. Like this is like a Hulk that's like super pissed at Banner, wants nothing to do with him, hates him, and is like trying to actively be separate from him.
Yeah.
Also, if you're a Ghost Rider fan, I feel like this variant is really cool. Like a World War II variant that like the avatar is like a kid in the bike. Like that's pretty dope.
Yeah, it was a cool setup for sure. And then Nick Klein just fucking killed it. I thought he did a great job.
We've got. Sorry.
Okay.
No, I was just gonna say we've got this story is 2 more issues and Nick Klein's on both of them. So.
Right, and then he goes away again.
Well, we don't have this solicitation after that, but probably.
Listen, I'm about to have some words in one of these books, and you'll know exactly which one it is when we get there. But anyway. All right, next up we have Invincible Iron Man issue number 12 from Gary Jerry. Again, I feel like he is the only one working overtime when it comes to anything with X-Men, and obviously that is intertwined in these Iron Man books. And I thought this was a really solid issue. I thought it was really fun to see Riri use the 10 rings and have a psychic battle with Emma Frost. I thought that was really kick-ass. Seeing Kingpin kind of flex his muscles still, intellectually and physically, and just still having a one-up on everybody in the situation when it comes to Krakoa and the predicament that they're in, and the predicament he's in, you know? Just to see him not just being a meathead, you know, and just being a guy that just breaks doors, you know, breaks down doors with his bare fist and strong arms people, you know, like he's got a leg up on everybody in every situation, including Orcus and Iron Man and Emma Frost. That's pretty cool. I think it's kind of neat, especially when, you know, it seemed like we kind of wrote the character off in Daredevil. You know, he kind of just rode off into the sunset, and then Gary Jerry has been able to kind of ring him back in. Yep. So I think that's kind of neat. Seeing Emma and Tony, it does feel like they're slowly starting to get a little closer with one another because they're kind of forced to be a team and, you know, and be kind of married. But you can tell, like, I still get this feeling that Emma still cares for Tony. You know, like, she's still, like, as much as she doesn't want to say it, she does. And so it's kind of nice to see her, like, there's just these hints of slice of life in their conversations and the way they interact with each other. If there's anything that's kind of like, wait, what? It just felt, the only thing I'll say is Riri showing up, unless I missed it, it just felt kind of random. Like, oh, and now Riri's here, and you're like, for why? You know, like, but other than that, I thought it was a good issue, and clearly after their little kerfuffle and them taking off taking out the Iron Man Sentinel, Riri and Tony are working on a new suit, and it's clearly going to be built out of Mysterium, which just sounds fucking awesome because we know what Mysterium is capable of now from the previous issue. So I thought it was a strong issue. I think Gary Jerry is currently, when it comes to some major hitting books, is doing a really good job right now. I think he's got the weight of the X office on his shoulders, whether he likes it or not.
Oh yeah, I think it's been firmly placed there at this point.
Yeah. So overall, I thought it was good. Jaden, I feel they never really know how to play her in a story or put her in a story. Yeah, I mean, you know, the question begs to be asked, like, is Riri being involved in comics right now because of her involvement within the MCU and her, you know, how she'll probably be up even further within the MCU? I know that's a really shitty question to ask because we don't, you know, we don't want to see that day, but it feels like it's already happening with our Captain Marvel book. And like, it just kind of feels like she needs to, just kind of like with Kamala, I feel like she needs to have her own comic and just be bold with it. You know what I mean? Rather than just being a supporting character. I'm like, oh yeah, I saw her in the movie once. Like, and that may not be the case, right? That we may be just connecting a dot that really doesn't exist, but that's how it feels. Yeah. So hopefully that's not the case.
I mean, has she had an ongoing since Bendis created her? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I really don't. So overall, Invincible Iron Man, I thought it was pretty solid. I give it a solid A for sure. You read this, right, or no?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, next up, woo! Sensational She-Hulk issue number 2. What?
It's okay. It's not as nearly as good as you're going to make it out.
Well, I'm not going to make it my pick of the week, but I thought it was
sure?
good. I'm absolutely sure. The book that I'm going to make my pick of the week is going to be controversial.
Oh. I thought you were going to do it, so I'll take it back.
It's not my pick of the week, but I liked it. I guess the issue I have is it's more outside of the issue, and it's if you're if you didn't read the previous run, you're incredibly confused.
Yeah.
Which obviously I have, right? And so that's not really a fair criticism to have, but I can just see people shitting on it because they don't know what's going on. But because I did know what was going on, I liked it. And so it's clear that our previous bad guys who took Jen's blood and, you know, turned themselves into different versions of Hulk, and then the wife ended up becoming just a straight up Hulk, has been tracking Banner, and they're clearly trying to get to him now. And that's really the big, you know, we get. I think the thing that I like the most is that we get the answer. We get the answer that we were looking for from issue 1, which is Jen wasn't calling Banner. He was being, you know, coaxed out by these fake Hulks, but they had her blood, so he kind of thought it was her. Great. I just like Jen's attitude in this book. I like her just having like, fuck, I got to clean up another mess. I got to clean up another one of my cousin's messes. And just seeing her do her thing. I overall, I liked the issue. I liked the connectivity to the previous arc. I just feel bad for people that are picking this up for, you know, the first time, and
there needed to be some type of editorial note or something.
It didn't feel like there was one, even though there may have been one.
There wasn't.
There wasn't. Oh, that's unfortunate. I liked it. I mean, I liked the issue. I'm still like, I want more She-Hulk. I love that she was an Iron Man. You know, the fact that we got her in Iron Man earlier and she was, you know, doing lawyer work in that issue. I thought that was kick-ass. Like, give me more She-Hulk. I need more She-Hulk. Like, whenever she shows up. Good.
I was just gonna say, I don't think any for the next at least 20 or 30 years, no one besides Rainbow Rowell should be writing this character.
100%.
And I mean, when she appears in someone else's book, they need to call her up and be like, "Hey, I need you to write that." Like, I just personally think that this, to me, this is the exact voice and exact tone and exact mannerisms, reactions, everything that I expect and understand She-Hulk to be.
Yeah.
So I do like that. I think that's very, very, very good.
Yeah, so just getting to chat, I wonder why Marvel is releasing 4-issue trades now. She-Hulk and I think Captain Marvel is 4-issue trades. I don't know. Punch Club or whatever is fun too. Yep, it sure is. I think it's the best when She-Hulk and Hulk are together. It's always fun. I'll read this one day. You should, Patty. It's really good. John says, I let my daughter read She-Hulk, the She-Hulk issue, and she's hooked. I'm going to have to buy two copies every week now. Yeah. It's a good issue. I mean, dude, it's a good run. It's a good run, and I can't wait to see where it goes. And then when, like, looking at solicitations and seeing the fact that she's going to space with Captain Marvel for Jack of Hearts, like, yes, man, like, banger. It's gonna be awesome, man. This is a great book, and unfortunately, it is not my pick of the week. But it's very close. It's very close. But it wasn't, you know, because there was another book that I really liked, but I also really hated, and we'll get to it. It's a divisive.
Before we move on really quick.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't notice what Joe pointed out, which I think is really interesting, is that you're right. Both Captain Marvel and this first of She-Hulk are going to be just the 1 through 4 as the release. But from what I'm seeing, it looks like that is because that follows straight along with the arcs. Issue 5 for both look like they're the beginning of a new arc. And it looks like monetarily it follows too. 112 pages for $15.99 on Captain Marvel, 112 pages, $15.99 on She-Hulk, compared to Incredible Hulk Volume 2 is 144 pages, 5 issues, $19.99. So it does seem like that everything's evened out there as far as like dollar per page and stuff.
Nice.
So it may be that they're more tracking arc issues than they are just doing it in lumps.
Right.
Anyway, just
No, it makes sense. All right, before we get into DC, I'm going to go ahead and just to kind of like, we usually have our halftime question from Joe, so I'm waiting on that. But also, just to let everybody know, who, if you're new to watching and you are subscribed or you haven't subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are giving away a slab tonight at the end of the show. We hit 950 subscribers, so... You okay?
Oh,
what's
you
wrong?
cut out.
I cut out.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Anyway, keep going.
Okay. We are giving away a slab tonight because we hit 950 subscribers. So make sure to hit that sub button and say something in chat, whether it's hello, congratulations, or you're actually commenting on what we're talking about. But make sure you are commenting in chat and you are sub so we can give away you can be entered to win this slab that we're giving away tonight. So let's get on to DC. First up, we have World's Finest, issue number 21 from Mark Wade and is it Mark Wade? Yeah, and Dan Mora. You know, you made the comment earlier because you said you went ahead and read Kingdom Come, and you basically were like, yeah, it was fun, but you don't necessarily need to read that to really understand what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, I actually meant to go back. So I read this first, and then I read Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
And I meant to go back and read this again. I didn't. But yeah, it just seems like those of you that have read Kingdom Come, correct me if I'm wrong, but so it looks like Boy Thunder, whatever his name is, David, is becoming the Magog, which has has a large but also small piece in Kingdom Come. And I guess that's kind of a neat nod, but certainly not necessary to understand what's happening here. This is clearly something that takes place in whatever Earth Kingdom Come is in. This is years prior to that, especially because we don't see Batman in his little exoskeleton suit. So
right. Overall, I thought the issue was fun. The artwork was fucking amazing as always. The flow of the comic, I think, worked really well. Wasn't hard to read. I'll even say it didn't feel like it read too quickly. I think it was like the perfect pacing of a World's Finest in a long time. Sometimes these issues will just fly, but this issue felt paced very well. Overall, I liked the issue. I think it's cool. I like seeing the counterpart Kingdom Come, Iron Man or Superman and Batman trying to piece together what the fuck's going on. And then the last page obviously was just so kick-ass with all of the heroes of the Kingdom Come age coming after him, just porting in, and you're like, oh fuck, they are screwed. It's cool. I'm overall I'm enjoying the arc. I think I'm enjoying this arc a lot more than the previous arc, which was the AI element guy murder mystery. Did Bruce Wayne do it? I really wasn't a big fan of that. Not that I wasn't a big fan, it just wasn't as fun. This one seems a lot more fun, in my opinion. I liked the Boy Thunder storyline. So now that we're kind of going back into it, I don't know. This kind of feels more in tune to what the original run was starting with that Mark Waid was doing. And then obviously having Dan Moore on the artwork just makes it feel fun. It's just good.
One piece of deep lore that I found interesting with current context, I saw in the reviews, because I've actually been getting into reading a lot of the reviews on League of Comic Geeks, because I find that people are actually more generous than typical, and people love to complain and talk shit. If you're looking for reviews where people are just being malicious, you look at Twitter, right? Almost seems like if you look at Comic Geeks, you're looking at people that are trying to be thoughtful and trying to say, hey, you know what, this wasn't for me, but good job. The art was so good, or you're trying to say something.
Right.
But one complaint I constantly saw was the colorist messed up because they made Dick's Nightwing suit red. It was, when it's traditionally blue.
Right.
And some people are trying to say, oh, well, in the New 52 it was red, and so maybe it's actually, I think it's a really cool hint, because in Kingdom Come, Dick actually becomes the Red Robin and has red in his suit.
Nice.
So I think this is a transformation of showing you, hey, he started with the red as Nightwing in this world and eventually becomes Red Robin for whatever. Now, the suit in Kingdom Come for him being Red Robin is absolutely atrocious in the best way ever. He literally has a beak that comes down and cowls over his face. It's hilarious. There's no way he'd be able to see while Anyway, small tidbit if you happen to notice that.
No, that's good. All right, halftime question from Joe. We're nearing the end of the year, so which book has the most surprising comic of the year? Mine would be Void Rivals. I don't want to copy your answer, but I would have said Void Rivals, so I'm going to do a different book. And
Void Rivals is a solid answer.
Yeah. Mine, I feel like it should be Nate's answer, and it's going to be Do a Powerbomb. because I was yeah, March 2023. I was even hesitant on it because like I'm not, you know, back in middle school, yeah, fucking professional wrestling. Hell yeah, bro. Like I got to get that sound. I started the show too late. I was going to put that on our soundboard. But anyway, I think for me it'd be to do a power bomb just because like I was a little leery when the book initially was announced. I was like, well, but it's Daniel Warren Johnson, so I'll check it out. But I was on the edge. And then when we got into this like cosmic multiversal death match, it fucking rocked. So for me, my answer would be do a power bomb.
That's a solid answer. Those are both good ones.
Ooh, there you go,
So
Joe.
while I look through my list, I'm gonna vamp for a second. Did y'all see that Avengers Inc. was officially canceled?
No.
Al Ewing gets 5 issues on an Avengers book, and they just go, "Nah, man, you're done."
Well, the first issue wasn't really that good.
Well, listen, it wasn't my cup of tea, but Al Ewing has some pretty radical followers. I would have expected that to have done.
Do you think it was only meant to be 5 though?
No. He answered someone who was like, "Nope, this is actually like we're canceled." That's it.
Oh shit. That's interesting.
I'm having a hard time finding one that's better than what y'all are saying. The biggest thing that is getting me is like surprising, because I have a tendency to maybe overhype things.
Yeah.
And so a lot of these things I'm like, oh, a lot of these things that are like really damn good are. Wait, yeah, see, Do a Powerbomb ran June 15th, 22 to December 7th, 22. Maybe
What?
you were wrong.
No.
Yes.
I looked it up on
That's when the trade came out.
Well, do a power bomb.
Okay, I'll do this. The book, the first issue of the book came out of this book that I'm about to say, which we haven't talked about on the show except for a real quick snippet. Earth Divers. So Earth Divers had its first issue in November, but it's had the majority of its issues in 2023. I read the first volume as a trade paperback, and I mentioned it at the very end of one of our live shows. Earth Divers is by one of my favorite novelists right now, Stephen Graham Jones, and it is an IDW original series of him, where it takes a group of 3 people that are kind of together by circumstance. They decide and find a way that they're going to send a guy back in time to kill Columbus, to change history. And holy shit, is it really
I'm surprised you didn't
art
say.
in it is fantastic.
I'm surprised you didn't say Rare Flavors.
See, Rare Flavors I totally expected to be amazing.
Okay, yeah.
It doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah.
Okay, then can I revise?
You can revise yours because yours was wrong.
Yes, it was wrong. You ready? And you're gonna be like, God damn it, you're right.
I have a second one, but go ahead.
Unleashed.
You're right. There was no like when we first heard about it, I wasn't sure who Kyle Starks was, and I was like, I don't know. Like I love Throg, but like what? But by the time the book finally came out, I was super obsessed with Kyle Starks. But you're right. Unleashed is a good one.
Unleashed.
I'm gonna throw one more on there just because I had no idea about it until the book was even in my hand, and it's been 2 of the 3 issues have been picks of the week. Is Fish Flies. I did not expect you to love that book that much. So Fish Flies, Unleashed, Earth Divers, Void Rivals, and then what was the other one? Oh yeah, dude, that doesn't count. Okay,
yeah, doesn't count.
Well, we got a few there. John, Where Monsters Lies. You're right. That is 2023 as well, and that came out of nowhere for me as well. So there's actually a good amount of them.
Yeah. But Unleashed
Peacemaker. Peacemaker was good.
Oh yeah, Peacemaker. Yeah. Head says Red Room, Crypto Killers was good. If you like that style of comic.
He cannot handle that. Even I was like, "Ooh, I don't know, man." I read the first 2 or 3 issues of Red Room, and I was like, "The thing is, like, I can do blood and gore all day, but when you start doing like vomit and pus and shit, I'm like, fuck it.
Vomit pus.
I can't do that stuff."
That sounds like a good metal band. We're a vomit puss. I want a Pet Avengers animated anything. Oh, that'd be dope, Patty. Yeah, fuck yeah. D-Dog needs to come back. That's all I'm saying.
D-Dog?
All right.
Hell yeah.
Bro. Next up, we have Green Lantern War Journal issue number 3, Into the Wild.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying this series. Of course, it's Philip Kennedy Johnson and John Stewart, who's my favorite Lantern. Right. But what I love about this is we're getting what always pickles Jim's pickle, which is slice of life mixed in with our superheroing. And this like ongoing story that we have with John and him taking care of his mother is really like personal and sweet and like touching. So we see that, you know, one of the, I don't remember what they call it when they are infected. It's called the like righteous goo or something like that. Who knows? I don't. But one of the guys that's infected with this, like the stuff that makes them look like they're from Blackest Night almost.
Yeah.
He like attacks the train that John's mother is on while he's also sending a ton of shit to attack John. And so he's basically like, you either have to choose to save your mother, but if you do, like the goo's gonna get on you and you're gonna start changing into the bad guy. Or you can let your mom die and you'll be safe. You'll be fine.
Right.
And of course, right as he goes to save his mom, because he's not gonna let her die, all of these eagles and, you know, they're constructs from a ring, but all these like eagles and stuff come flying and they save his mom and get almost all the goo stuff off of John. And so John blacks out, he gets picked up. They some guy that we don't know who it is drops him off at Steelworks. So Steel fixes him up, helps him out. And it turns out we've got this lantern from another dimension who who knows John from another dimension. Is like, hey, we're here to help fight the goo guys. You're not the John I thought you were. You're not as badass as we thought you were. So we're gonna have to move on. And John's like, nah, man, like, what's going on? And then Kyle Rayner from another dimension gets involved too. It's pretty wild. Like I followed all of it, but like it was a lot. You know, a lot of these books were like, yeah, we didn't get a lot of plot progression. We didn't really move. Like there's a lot of plot in this book.
A lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff happened in this book.
Gotcha.
But while all that plot was happening, we had like 3 or 4 pages of John basically having to tell his mom, hey, I promised you I wasn't going to leave, but I guess I have to go do this. You know, you can see like all John is trying to do is constantly live up to this hero image that his mom has always told him he is.
Right.
You know, which of course the sad thing is what she's telling him is like, you're a hero in your heart, not because of your actions too, or not because of your superheroing, but just because of your everyday life and the way you treat people. And he's sad because she's in a coma and we don't, you know, she's going to be okay, but she can't see him leave. And I don't know. It's really good. It's really heartfelt, but also a lot of action, a lot of plot. There's a lot of value in this book.
Nice.
I read the comics like, damn, that is a solid 1-issue comic.
There you go. That's dope.
There you go.
All right, next up we have Nightwing, issue 108 from Tom Taylor. We are continuing this pirate plot.
Wait, I just remembered something I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
Did you read the backup in She-Hulk?
Yes.
Okay. The plot thickens.
Shut up. Anyway, Nightwing, this pirate plot, which you said was not a pirate. We weren't doing pirates. And there... Yes, you did. If we go back and read the tape on our last live issue episode, you were like, "This is not pirates. This is not pirates." And it's pirate. They literally like Pirate Queen, Pirate Land, welcome to Pirate Island. They're just like pirate.
All right.
Anyway, even though I have not liked, he read a backup. Anyway,
I'm telling you, man, the conundrum keeps going. I can't figure it out. I can't figure out when he reads the backups and when he doesn't. Sometimes he's just like, oh, actually, well, that page was yellow and I didn't like yellow, so I skipped it. I can't keep up with the things that he chooses.
Are you done?
I'm taking notes. If you've seen It's Always Sunny, I'm Charlie on the wall with all the red yarn. Like, I'll get it figured out one of these days. I'm done.
You good?
I'm good. Ready to
All
go.
right.
Let's talk about pirates and their booties.
I didn't mind this issue. It's because we've had 2 issues to establish what we're doing, and so I kind of feel like I know where we're at now, rather than the past 2 issues going like, are these pirates? what do we do? Why is there booty? And now it's like, okay, there's booty, there's pirates, let's go, right?
Mhm.
There's booty, there's pirates, let's go. Hey. Anyway, so I liked it. I thought it was cool, and so kind of seeing. I mean, you could smell it from a mile away when we first dealt with betrayal at the first beginning of the page, that someone or someone's was going to get shot and die, and it happened. And but you just didn't know where it was going to come from. But I will say, when we met the secretary, when they got off the boat and she was like all snarky, I was like, that bitch she's a betrayer. Like she gonna have it. Booty pirates, right? So I liked it. I thought it was a good issue. It felt like a Nightwing issue, whereas the past two issues haven't felt that way, and maybe it was because of the gimmicky one panel follow the action. But I like that. I think that's
not gimmicky at all. That's really good.
Well, no, I'm saying some people might say that. I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying like some people would have been
dumb,
like,
and they would need to shut their mouths.
Anyway, I liked it overall.
Mm-hmm.
What I liked was when his ex-girlfriend's basically like, you don't seem to care about me, even though like you're with Barbara, and you don't give a shit about her gallivanting around at night helping you with crime fighting. And he's like she's Batgirl, and also I didn't know you were who you are. I didn't know who you were. Are you who you are? I'm not saying that right. And she's like, oh yeah, fair point. Like so, yeah, I thought you were a normal citizen, not a pirate queen. Right. So I like that. I thought that was cool. It was kind of like she was getting ready to go, got him, but then she, he flipped it. He reversed Uno'd it. And I thought that was dope. Yeah. So overall, I like the issue.
He said, I'm constantly worried about her safety, but she's a superhero. She goes, but I'm a pirate queen. And he's like, yeah, I didn't know that. And she goes, you are right.
All right.
I suppose you did.
Yeah. Fair point.
Yeah, so, it's good Tom Taylor writing. It's nice.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
You don't deserve this issue, though, because you're a hater, but we'll move on.
Why you gotta be like that?
Because you're just hating. You just hate all the time, and then now
I'm not hating. I caught you. That's all. You're upset that I caught you.
No, I freely admit that I was incorrect. I did not realize they were going to take the metaphor this far. As soon as they went through the mist and there was a giant metropolis in there, I was like, I rolled my eyes so hard they fell out. I was like, come on, like, okay, we're really going this far with it.
There was a giant a steering wheel for a ship as like their emblem, like Pirate Island.
Yes.
All right, next up we've got Superman Chained, issue number 8 from Williamson, and a treasure trove of artists for no apparent fucking reason. We even have our actual first artist on the book.
Yeah.
That's cheers.
I mean,
this might be the week.
I was about to say, I don't understand what the problem is.
The problem is
there was a clear reason why.
Why?
Well, because there were different time periods.
Were they? Because I felt like it slipped into different. No, like there were different time periods, but then there was at some points it was just like a transition in action. Not all of it was time shifts.
Okay, you go ahead and talk. I'm looking through it right now. Maybe
I'm almost certain not all of them are time shifts. Let's put the subject matter that you're looking into. Yeah, let's put that subject matter. You dive into it. I'm just gonna say, overall, if I put that part away, I liked this issue. I love this new villain that Lex has created. I think it was a great. I don't know. I loved it. It was so badass. I think Williamson definitely belongs in a singular wheelhouse of one character and is allowed to just rip. And I think he's doing it in Superman, and I applaud him for it. Don't do these massive Dark Crisis on Infinite Earth events that really don't mean anything. Don't do that. Just stay here. Have fun here. And I liked it. I thought, outside of the art changing every fucking whatever, like just changing out of nowhere, I thought the story was really good. I thought the flow of the comic foundationally was really good, and I had a lot of fun with it. and there were oh shit moments. Was this the oh shit moment where? Which one had the oh shit moment where someone's head like got destroyed? Was it this one?
Head got destroyed. I don't know, but Rick, appreciate you being here. You walked in at a great time with Pirate Booties.
Yeah, Pirate Booty's amazing.
My turkey dinner was great.
I don't remember. Anyway,
yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I liked it. I thought it was good. But there, obviously at the beginning, yeah, that's a different time change. Like that's in the past. But then
I looked. You're totally right. You're totally right.
Yeah, there's
the change is completely nonsensical.
It is nonsensical. It's disruptive. It's bullshit. And that's why I'm frustrated with the book. If you put that aside, this is a solid issue of Superman. And this run from Williamson has been fucking amazing. I think it's been great. But it grinds my fucking gears that there are 4 different artists on this book for no fucking reason. I'm sorry, I'm cussing a lot. But it pisses me off because it takes away from the book. And I think that makes the fact that this is my pick of the week makes it's so strong of a book, that it's so good, that the writing is so good and the story that they're telling is so good. But God, it pisses me off that it's just every 3 pages we change the artists. It's not cool. Like there are 2 artists in here that I think could carry this book. There are 3. So you have our artist that's been on the book since this chain. Yeah, the book. Hold on. The artist that starts the book, right?
Jamal Campbell.
He started the no.
You talking about started the beginning of the Superman? Started this issue.
That's what I'm trying to say. The chained arc and this issue, I think, is a solid artist and is doing a really good job of depicting the story that Williamson is telling. Right? Solid. Then we jump to. That's still the same artist. Where does it shift?
It's hard to tell.
Oh, this is another reason why I picked this book as pick of the week. When Chained makes human cubes with the guards,
yeah.
I literally was in bed and I was like, oh shit! Like I said that out loud. Fucking awesome. So then we cut and we have our original artists. Killing our original artist to the original beginning of this book, Campbell, looks fucking amazing. And I'm like, all right, that's a step up. And then we cut to another artist who I will say it looks even better, but he's only got 1 page. He has 1 page. Okay. And then we cut back to the artist that started the book. So it feels, even though the original artist on this issue, the first artist, is doing a good job, when you go, okay, it's essentially like level up, and then you cut back to where you started, it just doesn't feel the same. And it feel like I stopped reading. I went, wait, what? I stopped reading the book. I got completely pulled out because I was like, wait a minute, is this a different story? Why do they look different? I hated that. It pisses me off. I don't like it. I think it's if your main artist is having trouble staying on the deadline, I think there are 2, we've said this before, there are 2 solutions. Solution 1, delay the book so we can get consistent art throughout the run, throughout the issue, or throughout the run or the arc, whatever. Or the second solution would be, because they don't have a problem like this in Japan with manga, is get a team of artists that can duplicate the work that the other artist is doing and keep a consistent book coming out with the same style of art. It's doable, goddammit. We know it is. It's totally doable. Yeah. So, I mean, look at John Romita Jr. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I'm just saying, like, it's such a distraction. And the only saving grace to this book, and the reason why it's my pick of the week, is because Williamson is so solid in his storytelling. But not a lot of other comics have that luxury. They don't. I mean, look at Mark Waid. Dan Mora comes off the book, and you're like, it's okay. It's fun. but it's not my pick of the week. But Williamson, I guess, can afford that luxury. Anyway, I thought this issue was great. I think the chained character, villain, or whatever he is really badass. And seeing Superman really having to deal with his morals and really having to deal with, you know what? I'm gonna have to trust Lex. And I loved the line that Lex gave in this book where he's like, damn it, just stop overthinking this and just let me explain this to you so that you can win. Right? And then I loved even Lex having to kind of come to terms with his own foundations in thinking. When Superman's like, no, I'm going to figure out a way to stop Chained without having to actually kill him. And Lex was like, all right, give it a shot. You know, rather than being like, you're fucking stupid, just do it the way I want. You know what I mean? So I felt like it was a very big growing point for both characters. I love this book. It's got me hyped, even though we are losing Philip Kennedy Johnson on Action Comics, and that's turning into like a what if story, you know, short story memoir anthology. Yeah. I am really excited for where Williamson's going to take Superman and the family. I'm off my soapbox. This is my pick of the week. What do you think?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I liked all the things you said. I mean, I think it was a solid issue. Art stuff bothers me, but for some reason, I just guess I was in the flow that I only noticed one change instead of two. I find it interesting that I don't know, that again, when Williamson can focus singularly, because you see the family's not really involved, and when they are, it's very the characters are one dimensional. You know what I mean? Like Connor didn't have any. Connor was just used to push the Clark story. You know,
yeah.
And he does those great. It's when we get into the big broad pictures when it's not great, and I'm just so apprehensive about where this run is going. But this issue is great. This issue is very good. I think the Chain Dude is a great villain.
I'm just hoping that Williamson continues to stick with the idea of family and keeping the super family intact within his run. I hope we get an announcement soon that there will be like a super family book. I think it's needed. I mean, Action Comics could have been that. Like, we both know that. But Action
was that for a long time. I mean,
yeah,
we're still getting that. The next issue of comics is, or the next issue of Action Comics is when Kal-El is in the steel suit that Steel made for him because he was hurt from whatever.
Right.
Hurt him. I don't remember.
Right. All right, yeah. Let's keep going. All right, after that, we've got Wonder Woman issue number 3 from King. I've seen reviews on this book going, what the fuck? People being very frustrated with it. I feel like if I hadn't seen those reviews, then I would have been in the same boat, if I'm being absolutely honest. But because I saw those reviews about the book, I actually enjoyed the issue. And that's very weird for me to say, because literally, this issue is Wonder Woman walking into an office. I mean,
yes,
that's the whole issue, essentially. But the build-up, when I read it, and yeah, it is wordy. It is wordy as fuck. Like, thick. Very thick. But for some reason, as I was reading it, classical music was playing in my head, and it felt like a movie. I don't know why. Like, her just kind of doing her thing, and, you know, something that, you know, maybe it's the Mountain King song. You know which one I'm talking about? The one that dun, 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 dun. Like, that song is playing as it's just like progressively getting bigger and bigger and swelling and swelling and swelling. And it kind of worked. That song even works when we're jumping to the other narrative that's being told in this book, which is this old guy with the black lasso convincing a current soldier to kill himself so that they can kind of put the blame on Wonder Woman that she's truly damaging the fragile male psyche of our society in the US. Overall, I thought it was a great issue. I I'm actually glad that I watched the reviews because it kind of prepped me for it, and I was like, oh, this is what to expect. And then when I read it and actually like digested it, I was like, dude, this is brilliant in my opinion. And I really like this idea of this black lasso just being kind of like the anti-lasso. I think it's cool. I think it may be cliche, it may be not, you know, it may not be original, but I really like it. I really liked it. I don't know. I thought the issue was great. Artwork, chef's kiss. Thought it was amazing. Also, I love that. Hold on. That Diana's invisible jet is a F-22. Like, oh, fuck it. It's just an F-22. Like, whatever. Duh.
I can't tell planes by looking at them, but okay.
Yeah, that's it.
This issue for me was extremely polarizing.
Yeah.
There were things I really enjoyed and there were things I really didn't enjoy. So things that I enjoyed. The art was absolutely phenomenal. I felt like the sequencing was really good. I felt like the pacing between the two stories back and forth created tension very well in both stories.
Yeah.
I felt like the letterer and, you know, whoever was in charge of laying things out did a phenomenal job. Tom King, of course, I'm gonna get them mixed up.
Yeah.
Tom King was an absolute bastard for putting these many words on the page for these guys.
Of course he was.
And the thing is, for as wordy as this book was, it wasn't an obstacle for me at all. I never once was good. Oh man, I feel bad. I felt like they were all necessary. I felt like it was good.
Yeah.
But just, man, did he needed to send them a little bonus for this issue. They really had to get it done. I will say though that there are a couple of things that I really don't enjoy. One of them is the characterization of the soldier was very poor. It was unbelievable. No 20-something is going to speak the way he speaks at all. It sounded like it sounded like Mark Waid trying to write a young person. And Tom King's better than that. He understands. I felt like he understands younger people in their 20s better than like 68-year-old Mark Waid does. Yeah. He didn't do it here. He really messed that up. The second part is the point he's trying to come across about this whole like fragile masculinity stuff. He's laying it on too thick. We get it. Like, we totally get it. We get that that's what you're trying to point here. That like the bad guy here isn't the dude in the U.S. military. It's not the sovereign. The actual bad guy here is toxic masculinity. We get it. It's way too thick, and I think it's going to alienate a lot of readers that message could have been really helpful for if you had just made it a little bit less thick.
Yeah.
But I will say the thing that I think is the most egregious about this book is the whole point you're trying to make is that the bad thing is this toxic masculinity stuff, and you're supposed to be giving representation and identity back to Diana. You know whose ideas and thoughts and words we hear the least in this entire book? Diana's.
Right.
None of the dialogue, she gets 4 bubbles. None of the thought dialogue is hers. None of the filling gaps dialogue is hers. She literally talks like 3 times. This book is not Diana. This is a sovereign book. And
go ahead.
I'm just saying, my opinion is that it's very poor. If we're going to be, if this is a Wonder Woman book, we should be getting the motives of a Wonder Woman. We should be getting the feel of the character. We should be getting the identity. We should be getting the tone. All of that should be set from Diana. And so far, the only Diana we've seen in these 3 issues is like a very stoic, rigid, like almost emotionless Diana, which doesn't, to me, feel like the character.
So I think issue 2, I'll harken back to issue 2. I felt like issue 2, we did get her voice because she did have she was pissed and she was trying and pleading with the army that she ended up taking out. Don't do this. I'm trying to be on your side. And so I think my counter argument would be, and just in general, just in discussion, if we were reading this as a trade, or one collected issue, then I think it would have felt I have no issues with what you're saying with the other part, the masculinity being laid onto. It's clearly Tom going like, I'm beating you over the head with this because I know you're gonna fucking say shit on Twitter. You know, like I just know you're gonna do it, so I'm just gonna really ruin your fucking day. Like that's very obvious. But I think the voice, I think because I've read the other stuff that he's read, and it's always been a back and forth, right? Like every issue's been a back and forth, and so like the last issue was heavy on Diana, and she was making it known, like she was pleading essentially, don't do this, don't come at me, bro. Like I'm just here to solve the mystery, and you've got all these right, and like all these dickheads with big guns are like, nah, like I want to shoot my gun so bad, like that's, you know, and that's what that issue was. And we got a little bit more of it here, but then we got the counter argument to it, and this guy who's just an absolute piece of shit, you know, like, you know, he is the Confederate, you know, like it's very clear. So, but no, I get what you're saying, but I think this will be a really, I think however long this thing is going to be, when it is collected, I think will read incredibly well.
Yeah, that definitely could be.
It'll feel like it'll flow a lot. Let's check out chat here. Go ahead.
I want to say one, that critique might make it sound like I hated or disliked the issue. I still liked the issue.
Right.
As a matter of fact, what did I rate it here? I read it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. But now, of course, I have another question.
Okay.
Did you read the backup?
What was the backup?
It was the Damien and little baby Wonder Robin story.
No.
Okay, so you need. Okay. So honestly, the backup in this book is so good that if I had to, I would rather Tom King eliminate the Wonder Woman book and only write the backup story. That backup story is so cute and endearing and awesome. Like it's so I don't care. You're wrong if you haven't read it. You're dumb.
I don't care.
Don't care. It is absolutely amazing. It is hilarious. It is funny.
Listen,
it's adorable.
Listen, you know what backup I want? I want the backup that we got in, was it Wonder Woman 800? There was one where we saw Damien and John and her.
That's the 3 of them. That's what this is.
No, but they're not grown up. In that one story that we got, they were already grown up. That's what I want.
All of the backups are stories of them in various times. I
don't like the various times. I just want them as young adults in the sense of like they're already
very frustrated.
Very. Okay, how about this? When you're doing one of your reviews, I'll read it and then I'll tell you if you're right or wrong.
You actually cannot tell me if I'm right or wrong because the only answer is that I'm right. That is absolutely
I knew you, like I
not
literally was
debate
baiting it.
or discussion in any way. I haven't read it yet. Okay. Jade said I thought the ending was hilarious. Oh yeah. Who just pulls a gun on Wonder Woman? We could definitely throw it off. Gotta set the tone, guys. Echo, a backup is a short story, usually like 6 to 8 pages, that is in the very back end of the comic that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the main comic. And usually they're serialized just like the main comic and run for like 2 or 3 issues in the back. This particular one is dealing with Diana's future daughter who isn't born yet. Clark Kent's son, John, and Batman's son, Damien. It's set in the mystic future of some kind.
Also, so at the end of the issue, we come to find out that the woman, the Amazon that committed all the crimes, is pregnant, and so we time jumped end page, where that daughter is in jail and is being told a story. So that's interesting. Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's neat. That's neat.
Frank, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, Frank, and make sure you're subbed. And if you're subbed, you are already in the spinny wheel of giveaways. We are giving away a slab tonight. All right, let's go ahead and move on while we continue to move. And we've got Somna.
Push the button.
Push the button.
I wonder if this is surprising to anybody.
Nope.
This was a masterpiece. This was so good. Now before you little horny dogs start to try to blame me just because there's boobies in here, doesn't
They
mean
did it,
that's not my
Empire.
pick of the week, right?
They did.
If I want to just see boobies, I can watch. I can look at boobies elsewhere. That's not why this book is good.
Yes, you can.
This story was so. One, I am a little biased. I really enjoy stories of like, you know, early 1700s, you know, first founders in America stories and like witches and superstition and religious horror, that kind of stuff. That's just kind of my shtick. So this obviously falls right into that.
Right.
But the story here basically is like we've got we follow the wife of a man who's essentially found himself into the role of being a witch hunter or having the ability to decipher who and who isn't a witch. Only problem is his wife, the main character of the story, it seems as if she's being possessed or at least taunted by a demon in her sleep, sexually taunted. And so it is causing her to make unholy noises while she sleeps and causing great strain on her husband. But just the thing that I did not realize at all was the 2 art jump that we were gonna have. Becky Cloonan, who's writing the book, is actually doing the art on some of the pages here as well. She is doing the real-time active awake story, and then once she falls asleep is when Lotte, excuse me, picks up the art, and that's when we go to that really, really like vivid, almost realistic artwork. Yeah, this story was just a kind of a perfect mix of like, I don't know, horror aesthetic. You know, there's obviously like an erotic aesthetic to it as well, but it's very, I felt that it was very much fluent to the story. I don't know, like this just hit the tone that I was expecting, but like did it way better. Also, I was not familiar with Lotte's artwork, but what's his name? Matea de something. The guy that's doing the Cole.
Okay.
You know how realistic that is?
Right.
Hers might be better.
Ooh, shit.
It's just, not only is it insanely good where you're looking and you're going, that looks like a real life human person.
Yeah.
But there's this like scratchy edge to it, almost like a Martin Simmons, like, you know how Martin Simmons, the Department of Truth artist, can like make something look insanely real, but also like it was just made out of scratched paint.
Yeah.
At the same time, that
Right.
it has a tiny bit of that aesthetic to it as well.
Okay.
I don't know. Plus, I find these books to be an amazing value. They are $8.99. There's 64 pages. There's no ads, and it's magazine size. And so when we do like splash pages or large 1-page pieces of art, really getting, I don't know, like a really big bombastic display. Like this, I don't know. It just feels good. It feels like it sets the tone really well. So,
Dude, the ads in Marvel and DC this week were out of control. Like it just felt every other page was a fucking ad. It was insane. Well, it looks like everyone, you know, it seems like a lot of people liked Somna, so.
Enjoyed Somna, so reading most of the one online after reading it. 2 different covers. Nice. It was great. It was great.
Do you think Distillery is going to make it?
I think Distillery's right on track.
Good.
Not only do I think they're right on track with their first 2 releases, or I guess 3 with if you include the anthology first one.
Yeah.
But the creative team that is behind it, the creatives that have poured their time and energy into it, I think is really, really big. You know, like when AWA launched, like right at the beginning of 2020, they didn't have too many names. J. Michael Straczynski, who is a big name, was like really the only one tied. And Garth Ennis kind of came on. And you look at them, they're still doing pretty well. They didn't have a lot of names, but like Distillery is a who's who. Like Becky Cloonan has been writing major DC books for a while. Like she was the one who was writing Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Tom King. You know, obviously Tinian's on there, Jock is on there, Ron V's got a book. we've got a lot of really, really big name in comics on this. Yeah, I think Distillery is going to do it. I am for the time being, Distillery number ones are the exact same thing as Boom number ones for me.
Nice. I like it. I like it a lot.
John,
All right.
yes, it literally did feel like the Witch movie, which is exact. I think the solicitation actually says if you like Witch and something else, like you'll like it. And I think that's a perfect.
This head says Gone was great too. I haven't read it yet. I know you liked it though.
Yeah, Gone was good too.
All right. Next up from Image, you have The Holy Roller, issue number 1. We both were. I don't know if we had high hopes for it, but we were intrigued. We were intrigued by this book, and I agree with you. We had our little post or our pre-show notes. This was not. It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. It just didn't. I don't know. It didn't. I felt like it took too long to establish what we were trying to do. In the sense of, like, you have an expectation on the cover, right? But then you get into the book and you're like, wow, that did not go the way I thought it was going to go. And I'm not saying I wanted immediate head bashing with a bowling ball, right? That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
I felt like the beginning of the book with our main character and getting his backstory as a kid in the arcade and his dad being a kick-ass bowler, thought it was fine. Thought that was good. I was intrigued. I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. And then we cut to present day, and the guy's an absolute dickhead. He's just an asshole. I'll just say this. The book for me just felt kind of eh. It just felt kind of eh. And I think it just doesn't feel, it feels like a first draft. If I'm being at all critical in trying to be and not being a complete asshole about it, it just felt like a first draft of an issue. The beginning of it felt kind of solid. The middle part felt just kind of like, oh, we time jumped and oh, he's a dick. Okay, cool, whatever. And then the end of it felt like it should have started that way. Like if this book had started with the like Tarantino did basically and started at the end but at the beginning, I think this book would have been more effective. But I just didn't. My expectations were here, and the book, in my opinion, is about mid to low. Is where I would put it, and I hate saying that because I think the covers definitely sold this idea. The solicitations for this book sold the idea of the book, but then when you read it, it just kind of felt flat, in my opinion. That's just
me. So I know that, like, to some degree, anytime you include a famous person in anything that they're not known for, so it doesn't have to do with just comics. Anytime you put musician in a movie, anytime you put a movie star in a comic book, anytime you put comic book writer in a movie, it's just not. It's always a little bit of the hype, and they probably aren't that involved in the creative effort. But having both Sandberg and Joe Troutman on here, I just thought, I don't know, I thought maybe like we'd have something that felt like it was a contribution from them, and maybe there was, and I just don't know what it was, but it just didn't feel like, it felt like an awkward Rick Remender book that just wasn't funny at all. It just, none of the parts that I think were supposed to be funny, like they were really awkward and really cringy. The captain character on the boat,
yeah,
everything he said made me shudder. I was just like, this is not funny. This is
when I was reading it, I was like, I just had like my little date was like, bro, really? Like I could feel your avatar on my shoulder eye rolling.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just,
the covers. I'll just say this: the covers for this book sold this book more than what this issue was. And here's the problem: 2 issues from now, or an issue from now, it could actually, it could be a 10 out of 10 book. It could actually be a 10 out of 10 book. It could actually be a 10 out of 10 book. It could actually be a 10 out of 10 book. It could actually be a 10 out of 10 book. It could actually be a 10 out of 10 book. It could actually be a 10 out of 10 book. It could actually be a 10 out of 10 book. It could actually be a 10 out of 10 book. It could actually be a 10 out of 10 book. It could actually be a 10 out of 10 book. It could actually be a 10 out of 10 book. It could actually be a 10 out of 10 book. It could actually be a 10 out of 10 book. It could actually be a 10 out of 10 book. It could actually be a 10 out of 10 book. It could actually be a 10 out of 10 book. It could actually be a 10 out of 10 book. It could actually be a 10 out of really pick up and be a kick-ass. But like you gotta swing for the fences on first impressions, especially if this is a new idea, right?
Yeah.
And like this issue fell flat in my opinion.
Yeah. What's really interesting too is Ron Mars and someone else, some other creator that was really big in the 90s, got on Twitter and were like beating the shit out of a new #1 that came out this week. And they wouldn't talk about who it was or what publisher it was from. But every time they were talking about the complaints they had in the book, I was thinking of this book. I think it's probably unlikely they were talking about this book. I don't know why, but I just feel like maybe it wasn't. But I just couldn't help but think all their complaints were about this book. I don't know. I read, and what the other thing that was crazy too is we got 48 pages, no ads, and it was still $3.99. Like I thought, man, that's a lot of book. That's a good value. But by the time I got through reading it, I was like, I didn't really want to read 48 pages.
It just fell flat, unfortunately.
I was trying to see if I could find that post, but seems like it's too far down.
Oh well,
doesn't matter.
All right.
You will.
Next book, Dracula, issue #2 from James Tynion IV and Mark Simmons.
Was our last one?
No, dude, I'm sick, so I've got like this really cool, like, got a voice. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Dracula.
This, I mean, honestly, if you want a thorough review of what I thought of this book,
be thorough.
No, then just go watch the review of the first issue.
Right.
It's almost exactly the same. Now some of the like shockingness or just like blown out of the water wasn't quite here because I saw it in the first issue and was expecting it again here.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, like this is just perfection in all parts. The artwork was phenomenal. We didn't quite have as many like really like bombastic in your face massive spreads or centerpieces, I guess you could say. We really focused on like the story more than words telling us the story more than the pictures as compared to the first issue. Obviously it's a great balance, but
right.
But as far as like the tone of the book is still perfect. The pacing was great. I don't know, like I don't really know what to say besides it was just as good as the first issue almost. Like only thing it didn't have was the shock of how amazing it was because you
already had it.
But if you enjoyed the first issue, I don't think I would even need to tell you that you still need to be picking up this book. You're definitely picking it up. I think John already said it, but it was hard to just pick up one issue of this book. I wanted multiple covers. I wanted multiple covers of the first one too. But yeah, it's great. It's absolutely great. If you're into horror, like Martin Simmons, if you like Tynion, you liking Dracula should have nothing to do with this book because I couldn't give two shits about Dracula, the story of Dracula or anything. Not interested. Even as a horror fan, not interested. Until these two somehow still made me interested.
Right. That's dope.
And Echo, this is one of the few times where the artwork on the cover actually matches the artwork in the interior too. If you think the art on this cover is good, the interior is even better.
Yeah, Simmons is a fucking beast. All right, our last book of the night, Void Rivals, issue #6 from Robert Kirkman. Dude, he is killing it right now. And the reason why I say that, and you may not think this, Nathan, but for me, the reason why he's killing it is seeing how he is actively connecting his new characters here with Transformers. Because he doesn't have to do that. He really doesn't have to do it. He's set the pace of them being in the same universe.
I mean, he 100% has to do that. That's the entire selling point of these books.
I don't feel like he has to. Well, let me say this. I don't feel like he has to as much as the way I was surprised in what he's actually doing. I thought they were just going to be like little cameos here and there, but this is a story about this new group of people. But he's really connecting them into the actual Void Rival story, as much as we've got this different race of Transformers who are despicable pieces of shit. that would judge. I only know this because I watched the movies, or I watched the movie, the original animated movie. This judgment floating head, 3 or 4 heads transformer, who's is really a piece of shit. Like in the movie, he or they judge random races of robots or species, and then when they judge them guilty, even though they're not, they fall into a pit of water that has transforming shark bots that eat them alive. Like that's just, and they find amusement in that. And so to see that they have this rich history between these 2 other alien races that we're following, and basically they've been trying to get at them for a minute. Like, they have something that they want is very intriguing to me. The fact that Kirkman is like, we are taking the Transformer universe and just shoving it into this new, in a good way. I don't mean that in a bad way. Just like they are smashing through the continuity, and they are going to be a part of this universe. And I really fucking dig that. So that was a big plus for me. But then just the character development that we have in the book, our male pilot, him kind of being the comedic relief, I kind of like. He's like, hey, I saved you. And she's like, I wouldn't do that for you. And then he's like, come on, would you at least lie? Like him being just kind of the comedic relief between the two, I think is really cool. And I like this pairing. And I'm still very intrigued with these 2 planets essentially being connected without most of their race really knowing it. And there's this big secret that we don't quite understand yet, and we're building to it. I think it's great. So Void Rivals to me is still slapping. It's still hooking me 6 issues in, which I really like. I think it's a fresh, exciting story, and then to throw in Transformers, but then to use them as a very intricate connecting tool in the plot line has got me so stoked. And I'll say this, I had no intentions of looking up or getting into the G.I. Joe books. None. I am not I played the G.I. Joe the toys. Like I love the G.I. Joe toys. I played with them, but I never knew the story. I didn't know, outside of Snake Eyes. And when I read the solicitations for the Cobra book, and then I looked at the backup in the back, like the preview, I was kind of like, oh, I might read issue 1. I might just read it. I might just check it out, especially if he's going to be in cahoots with the Decepticons. And it's clear that G.I. Joe is going to be in cahoots with the Autobots. I'm kind of like, that sounds kind of dope. Like, I know they did that. There's a comic that did that, back in the day. But with the way Daniel Warren Johnson is dealing with Transformers, and it's pretty violent, and you seeing the backup in Void Rivals of Cobra, and it's pretty fucking violent. Like, he literally drew his insignia in blood in the snow. Like, it was like, god damn, like, fuck, the dude's twisted. I don't know. It's got me a little intrigued. I think Robert Kirkman has sold me to pick up at least the issue number 1s of both G.I. Joe books. And I would have never said that before this issue. It's really weird to say. I'm not expecting you to, Nate, at all. But I'm gonna check it out.
So who are Goliant and Proximus?
I don't think I think those 2 are
those new characters?
I think those are new characters.
I felt okay. That instantly makes me more okay with this issue.
Okay.
I felt like that was supposed to be the big reveal, and I was like, I don't know who they are.
Now, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Well, spell them again.
Goliant. Goliant. That's the first one.
Okay.
And then Proximus. Oh god. Proximus. Those, I didn't even look it up. I just assumed you would tell me who they were.
Yeah, Proximus, Transformers. Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong.
We should probably have prepped this already, but
so Proximus may be one of the original Primes. Maybe. There is a potential there. I could be wrong. There is a video that says who is Proximus and the new connection, so we might have to check that out. But I didn't go like, oh, but I wasn't also going like that. Is that a transformer? So we'll have to see on that. But let's see here. Yeah, no, I think those are two. Proximus may be the only one that may be. So if I'm not mistaken, he may be an original Prime that was like corrupted, like kind of went kind of rogue. But we'll see. But either way, that didn't throw me off. I took that as like, oh, those are just those are new characters that we're going to see in the upcoming issue. But I need to watch this Who is Proximus and the new connections to Void, so I might have to check that out. But I was not thrown off by that. I'm loving it. I'm digging it. The thing that I'm hoping for, and I think it will happen because Hasbro is so invested in making their comics and their toy lines into movies, is that Void Rivals is going to be the next big movie or mini series that's going to be produced into a live action thing. And if you're not, I'm going to put a stamp, like a boom stamp on it, and say if you're not picking this up, like you need to be, and try to get those first prints and get second prints and variants and ratios, because I think this has a big a huge potential to becoming something in the physical, especially with Kirkman and The Walking Dead and with Invincible now. Like, just saying, I think it would be smart. It'd behoove you to do that. Anyway. All right, guys, that is episode or issue 155 of Two Fat Guys Pull Us live here on YouTube. We are going to go ahead and give away a slab tonight. But before I do, let's just mention again, if anybody's watching right now that hasn't already commented in chat, make sure to do so, and make sure you are subscribed to the channel in order to be entered into tonight's slab giveaway, which is this King in Black number 5 spoiler variant Ryan Stegman cover 9.8 CBCS grade. We're giving it away. I'm going to give you guys, I'll say, another minute. I'll go ahead and time it. So at 9:30.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, while you wait for the minute, maybe you should tell them about what we did on Friday and what we might keep doing on Friday.
Oh, yeah. So Friday, if you weren't here, I know Y was here and Patty, you were here. We did some Marvel Snapped Let's Plays, and we just kind of chilled.
You said that on Friday. Marvel Snap, no ED.
Snap, whatever. We played some on Friday. We played for about almost 4 hours. We started at around 8:30, and I got I progressed in the what was it, the Conquest, and you got mad at me, and I boomer snapped like 5 times and won each time.
That's 100% true.
I made 2 players rage quit. It was awesome.
But more importantly, while you were playing Snap and we were having fun in the foreground with Snap, we were also shooting the shit about comics all day. We were talking about new comics, we were talking about old comics, old reads, what we were looking forward to. We talked about geography. We talked about Canadian and American border lines.
Yeah, terrorism attacks. Yeah, terrorist attacks. Rainbow
attacks
bridges
on the Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah, dude.
It was a good time. So if we keep a lookout, we might do that again on Friday. And if so, y'all should join.
Well, there's a new card dropping this week, so I'm sure we'll definitely play on Friday and kind of I don't even remember what the card is. It's like starts with a Q, right? Or I don't remember. There's a new card dropping, so I'm most assuredly will.
It's Martyr. So
okay.
Phyla-Vell.
Yeah, we'll definitely probably be. We're gonna play on Friday. I'll make a thumbnail probably on Thursday and release it on Friday morning, so you guys have a heads up, because we kind of just put it out there really quick on Friday. So I'll make sure to give you guys more of a heads up that we'll be. If you want to come hang out on a Friday night, we'll be playing some Marvel Snap. All right, guys.
I didn't even realize that came out. I need to go check it out. Sorry.
Without further ado, let's give away a slab tonight. So we didn't hit the 1,000, so this wind issue is safe. So there you go, Nate. You're happy. Not giving it away. but we will be giving away this King in Black. So let's go ahead and do it. So everybody is entered. I believe I have everybody's name in there that has already commented on chat. Yeah, Rick, I got you. Yep. All right, here we go. So if it, last 10 seconds, I'll give you a countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Here we go.
Entry came out.
Is it spinning? There we go, spin. Oh, dang it, Canadian.
What?
Someone chatted right when we...
Is it? Okay, now it's spinning.
Rick!
Rick, you did it.
Rick, you done did it. You done won. All right, Rick. Well, let us know how we want to send this to you. Yeah, dude, another Canadian. This is crap. Rick, is this Rick from the shop? Or was that Ricky? I don't remember. Either way, shoot us an email, Rick, at 2fatguyspullist or 2fatguyspullist@gmail.com. Nate can put that in the chat, and just shoot us an email with your address and just letting us know that it's you, and we will ship this out to you ASAP. So sweet. So now I gotta go and make another I need to go make another freaking promo to cut our videos in half to jump to DC, which really is the promo at the beginning, so I don't think I can really make one. What we'll do is there probably won't be one this week, but there will be one the following week, and it'll probably be the other thing that Ron is talked about potentially giving away when we hit 1,000 subscribers. So it'll just be some extra incentive for our viewers when they watch to make sure that they are subbed so they can get something, because we're giving away a pretty big slab at 1,000 subs. So thanks guys for everyone that watched, and I appreciate every single one of you that has already subscribed. If you haven't, make sure to hit that sub button, and we'll catch you guys this Tuesday for another new comic book day video, which is actually quite itty bitty. I mean, at least it is for me. I don't have that many books at all. It's a very slow week.
Between the two, we have 10 books. 10 books total.
Okay, yeah, and it's because it's it's like this. It's the 5th Wednesday of the month, so there's not going to be. It's usually kind of slow, but anyway, there are some cool books, but it'll be a little bit of a slower video, shorter video, but it'll be fun. And then we'll catch you guys live again this Sunday, where we'll talk about all these books and more. And obviously, we're going to catch you guys Friday, because we're going to do some Marvel Snap. So be here. If you can't, watch it as a past video. But anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone that chatted, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. And thank you to our new mods. We appreciate you. Jaden, Patty, Joe. We love y'all. See you guys in